Good afternoon, guys. It's this is one of my, I tell the players a lot. My second least favorite day of the whole year is the day after our final game. In a lot of ways, because as I go through the process of meeting with each player individually and each coach individually, that. 1 year's team to the next is never going to be the same, and I was just so incredibly proud and grateful for all of our players and coaches, and the year we had did not end the way any of us envisioned. In fact, it kind of the finality of it all is probably the thing that stings the most, because every player and coach in those meetings expressed just how nobody expected it to be over when it was. And we, as an organization, obviously feel very strong about our foundation and what we've built here, but also know that we will continue to push on and push further and do more. And it starts with me. And I look forward to that challenge and all the things that lie ahead. But very proud of the group this year. Just so many different unique aspects and stories to the team this year and our organization and kind of the path that it was leading to 14 wins and ultimately, only one team is gonna win their final game, and when you get into that single elimination tournament, and every team will walk away, realizing that we all need to do more and try to do the things that it takes and whatever it takes to get to that place where we can win that final game, because that is the ultimate goal. That's why I'm here. That's why I came here, to continue to push forward towards that. Definitely want to take a moment and just express the gratitude for all the people in this building, starting with our players, such a unique group, special group. My coaching staff, I believe, was and is one of one, in my opinion, in this league. Great group of coaches that I get to work with every single day. Kwesi and his staff that put in all the tireless hours, trying to help put together the best possible team that we can put together. I think the staff that works with our team, both the resources downstairs with Tyler and Josh Hinkst and everybody that goes into making this such a special place for players that we want it to be, and that definitely expressed itself with our players' gratitude towards them and a lot of my exit meetings with them. Ownership, I think we have such a special group of owners that give us the resources and the things that we need to do it our way here and continue to grow and chase the ultimate goal. And we feel so fortunate to have the support with them and the relationships that we have with them as we all do this together. And then lastly, just our fans. I know I made mention of it many times this year. It was very important for us to get back to winning at home, which we were able to do this year at US Bank Stadium, and our fans were just every opportunity that we needed our fans to be there for us and provide that energy and environment at US Bank Stadium was truly remarkable. And it's absolutely one of the premier things about this job for me is the relationship with our fans that they have with our team and our players, and all of you great folks are heavily involved with connecting our fans with the special aspects of our organization, and I really want to thank you guys for that as well. So as we've laid a really great foundation, and as I envisioned from the first day getting a chance to be the head coach of this team, which I'm very thankful for the opportunity. I'm proud of the job we have done. We have not gotten to the place that we want to get to yet. We've done a lot of things to build that foundation, and now we must build upon that, that foundation to go continue to do the things that it takes to win a world championship in the ultra competitive league that we play in, and I look forward to doing that.
Did this team change the expectations for fans this year?
I don't know. I don't know that. I think our fans hopefully have the expectations that we're going to be very competitive and win every single year. I think the year that it was, from the fast start that we got off to, and the energy that built immediately by, beating some pretty good teams here at home and kind of establishing the early foundation of what our season was going to be, then having that, kind of 2 losses in those 5 days and respond by winning 9 in a row off that and respond to some of the adversity that hit this team this year. I would hope that all of us, in this building and all of our fans have the highest of standards for us and expectations for us, because that's when you're building something where people not only believe in what you're building, but they believe that getting to that place, getting to that final game is possible. And I know we all feel that in this building. We all know we have to go back to work and immediately started already the process of getting to that place. But I would hope that our fans continue to hold us to that standard because, like I said, that means they believe in us and they believe in what we're capable of, and it's on us to see that job through.
Kevin, you mentioned it Monday night, the 2 teams beat you twice this year. As you look at that, what does that communicate to you about things you guys need to improve to get to where you want to be?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of layers to that. I think it is a very much a matchup league. Week to week, some teams present different problems than others, how you match up, both personnel-wise, schematically, all those things. We've got to take a long look at specifically, the last 2 games and take a long look at, the things that transpired in those games that impacted our chances to win, impacted our chances of keeping those games where you're 1 or 2 plays away from winning it. We feel very good about, if we can get games to be competitive throughout and have a chance to win in the end. We've kind of proved that we can win those games and execute when it matters, but it's about every layer of our team and our organization and our way of doing things that we've got to, that's my job to take a long look in conjunction with our coaching staff and Kwesi and his staff, that we peel through every single one of those layers and really figure out the why behind a lot of the positives that took place this year. But I think it's always the most important thing is to look inward first and start with me and then look at the times where, really since training camp, you think about 3 preseason games and then, 14 wins in the regular season, and then to lose to 2 teams twice. What did those teams do that we didn't to win those games, and how we can build a team accordingly to not only navigate through those problems and those challenges, but also to looking at the totality of the season. What are all the ways we can be better into the future? And that's what we do. That's what we do every single day. We're trying to press forward towards where we want to be.
Kevin, you mentioned sign a contract extension this year.
I do, and I've had great dialogue with our ownership and this week in reflection as the season came to an end, and anything beyond that, I would prefer to kind of keep those discussions internal.
Is there a timeline of when you want to have that done?
Yeah, there's in my mind, like I said, anything beyond that my initial statement there, I'd like to keep internal.
I mean, that said, there's been a lot of reports that there's quote-unquote tension, or that there's something that needs to be done or figured out before that process would finalize. And are you able to say whether that's accurate or not?
What I would say is I love being the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, and with that becomes the fact that I love our ownership. I have a great relationship with our ownership, and feel so fortunate. Like I said, not only just the way they support us and believe in us, but also the impact they have on our players, on our locker room, and ultimately where we all want to go together. Feel very, very great about that. And yeah.
Kevin, you mentioned Sam's body of work as you've had time to look at it and reflect. Like, how do you balance the season that he had with what happened in those last 2 games?
Yeah, I think For me, like looking at Sam's body of work, I think Sam should be very proud about the season he put together from start to finish. He answered the bell day in and day out with his preparation, and really, I think he learned a lot about what he can be in this league, and I think he proved to the whole league that he can play a winning level quarterback, winning 14 games really in the first year. Really nobody's ever been able to do before in our league, and I think that's a testament to Sam and Josh and Grant, the guys working with him on a daily basis, and his teammates around him. So I think, when I think about the year that Sam had, I envisioned him having that kind of year when we identified him as a guy that we wanted to add to this organization last year, and everything that took place after that was all a systematic process to help him play the best football of his career, which I think he did, and I'm really proud of Sam for that.
Did Sam's play, Kevin, change the thinking internally for you and the staff? Because, in training camp, I think it was after JJ had the surgery, you stood up there and said, we have found our quarterback of the future, which is a pretty strong endorsement. As Sam played well, did that change the potential starter for 2025 in your mind, or do you still see JJ as being your guy?
Yeah, I think like when I said that in training camp about JJ, I think it was to make sure that everybody knew my perspective on what we had added via a first-round draft pick to our organization, which was a guy we all believe in his future. We all believe he had already done some things to confirm a lot of the special aspects of what J.J. McCarthy had been as a player, at a very successful level at the collegiate level, but then also in a very short amount of time what we had deemed to be, he was absolutely on the right track. And at the same time, throughout that whole time, I do remember saying that, Sam was having a great training camp and doing a lot of the things that we hoped he would do on his kind of individualized approach to being at his best and playing the best football of his career. So I think all of those things, when I look at the quarterback position, I think we had a very strong quarterback room this year. At one point in time, I remember walking in there and seeing, 5 quarterbacks sitting in that room, all with the ability, in my opinion, to win games, all with the ability to play the position at a pretty darn high level, all at different times and points of their journey as quarterbacks in this league. So I think it's just it's a remarkable thing to have all those guys in the room, and how we build forward and how we put things together as we move into the future will be based upon what gives us the best chance to win, what gives us the best chance to put the best version of the Minnesota Vikings football team on the field. And I think it's way too early to, in that process to really identify exactly what that looks like. But we're going to go through every layer of it, Judd, and we're going to clearly decide that path that best helps us move forward to win games.
How do you weigh those last 2 games for Sam, though? Like, they clearly were a struggle for the entire team. But, it was 16 pretty good games, a couple of clunkers. But then those, how do you weigh them correctly? Because it was certainly a deviation from what he had done for 16 games. Yeah,
I think it's important for us to take a large-scale look at everything that went into those games, both, how we prepared, how we handled the season up until that point, why were we not at our best in those games, and not just Sam, but our whole football team, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, where were the points throughout those games that, critically affected our chances to win. Because the one thing I've learned, not only here, with our 2 opportunities, and really if you count that last Detroit game of the regular season as an opportunity, with something on the line, and then going back further than that, with my journey in LA that led to me being here before you guys, I think so many little things in a game lead up to, the final score and the outcome and the massive amounts of, narratives that can come out of, games like that. And I understand it. I get it. I totally do, because those are the types of games you want to play in. Those are the types of teams you want to build that play in those games. But I have learned over the years that it could be one play, 1 third down in the red zone, 1 third down in the field where there's a chance to make a play, or I could have given a better play call, or we could have had a better protection plan, or we could have, maybe it's a defensive assignment or execution of a call, and all of those things lead to the ending outcome, but so much of it has to do with that one play when you look back on the totality of it. I think Sam did a lot of fantastic things. I think everybody around this league acknowledges the type of season Sam had, but as we kind of decompress and go through those games, which we'll do many, many times, probably too many times, to be honest. If I'm speaking totally of myself, the amount of times I've watched the tape of our last game already is probably not healthy. But at the same time, I think we've got to acknowledge the big picture, and then my job as the head coach is to figure out every layer of the why behind how it ended, while also acknowledging a lot of the good things that took place leading into that.
As you go back through that last game, was there anything that you could have done to help Sam with protection in terms of quicker developing passes?
Yeah, I think we actually had a lot of plays that had quicker elements to throw the football. The way we were defended. In a lot of instances, with whether it was single high coverage, whether it was a double on Justin, whether it was split safety coverage, there was a lot of their game plan was designed to take away those early in the down quick throws, and that's where it required a layer of getting into the progressions and having real decisiveness with the things we did from 1 to 2 to 3, and required some things that our whole offense needed to be incredibly detailed, and that was our protection plan. That was knowing where to go with the football when the pocket did start to collapse. That was being able to navigate the down based upon the situation, Ben, of where we're at. A third down in field goal range, making sure that we stayed in field goal range and didn't feel the need to try to win the game on every single play. And that's play calls from me. That's execution from our quarterback and the other 10 guys in that huddle. It's the detail and the ability to have the spacing and the intent of the play received as it expresses itself through the play. It's a lot of those things. It's the consistency at which we can play football and do some of the high-powered good things we've done while avoiding some of the negatives. And there was way too many negatives across the board to be able to overcome those things when you consider the amount of yardage lost via some of those sacks versus if you take away those numbers where we're at as an offense on that day, and then just the plays on those weighty downs that we have to be able to either throw and catch better. We have to be able to protect better. We have to be able to have it all come together at a much higher rate in those moments in a game like that, which I always will look at my responsibility to drive that thing to get there.
There's a lot of off-season to unfold, but would you be comfortable with JJ as starter week 1 if that's just considering the injury coming off and everything like that?
Yeah, I'm very excited about where JJ's at. I mean, I wanted to give you guys an update on him and a few of our players here from a medical standpoint. But he's returned to on-field training. He's returned to being able to be right where we hoped he would be at this point, to have the type of off-season to be able to answer that question. I think he maximized what this year was for him. I think he's got a level of comfort in our offensive system and getting to, really have a front row seat for every aspect of what Sam went through from being in the first year in our system and watching it kind of morph and grow and adapt as the season went on, why we do things. Hey, we're being defended like this. Here's the next, alliteration of as our offense kind of continues to take shape to try to do the things we feel like we need to do to win every single game. So I think him being able to absorb a lot of that and now have a really positive offseason from start to finish here will be able to give us, I think the answer to that question as well as, what that quarterback room looks like as a whole, the way I look at it. But very excited about the opportunity to be there with JJ as he continues to, move through this wonderful thing we call the quarterback world. So I'm very excited about that.
Last one.
What are your thoughts about the run game coming out of the season?
Yeah, I thought we improved. I thought we did some things to be a little bit more consistent. I still think there's always going to be room to grow in as we continue to build the 2025 version of Minnesota Vikings. Having total alignment between our personnel, the things we do well in the run game, where our strong points are in the run game, and then ultimately, tying schemes into that. I think Aaron Jones was a huge addition because I think he brought a level of execution and consistency to that position that really was impactful, and his ability to sustain over the course of the season and have a career year, 1,500 yards all-purpose, and what that really meant to our team. And then I think Cam, getting Cam back and the way he infused, his skill set into it throughout the totality of the season. And we still have a lot of strong feelings towards Ty and what he's able to bring. But I think I think there was growth. I think there was improvement. I still think that there's a lot of runway to improve both how we put together our team, how we attack the offseason, and figuring out exactly what the group up front's going to look like, and ultimately how that all ties into how we want to play offense to make the quarterback's job easier, make it so that we can live in friendly down and distances as many times as possible, and maybe the biggest thing is avoiding some of those negatives that can set you back like they do.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.